Imagine opening your eyes for the very first time and never seeing your mother's face. Today, doctors can often detect blindness shortly after birth. But thousands of years ago, how would anyone even know? There were no eye specialists, no vision tests. A baby's future could depend on what people believed was wrong. Sometimes, the greatest danger wasn't blindness itself. It was what people believed blindness meant. So, what happened when an ancient baby was born blind? The first challenge wasn't deciding how to treat a blind baby. It was discovering the child couldn't see at all. Could a midwife even tell right away? Not always. Unlike a broken bone or a visible wound, blindness left no obvious mark. A newborn didn't need to recognize faces to survive. It only needed warmth, milk, and its mother's arms. So when did families finally realize something was wrong? Not for weeks. The signs came slowly. The baby never turned toward movement, never reached for a familiar face, never reacted the way other children eventually did. Once they understood the truth, could anyone fix it? Ancient healers certainly tried. Egyptian medical texts describe ointments, minerals, and herbal mixtures for eye disease. Eye problems were so common along the Nile that treating them became a major part of Egyptian medicine. But could any of it restore a child born blind? No, there was no operation, no cure, no way to explain why it had happened. So where did families turn when medicine had no answer? Not to doctors, to their own culture. Because in the ancient world, a child's future wasn't decided by blindness alone. It was decided by what the people around that child believed blindness meant. But did every civilization see a blind child the same way? Not even close. A single river, a different kingdom, could completely change that child's fate. Take Sparta. For centuries, people have repeated the story that weak or disabled newborns were taken away and left to die. Is that actually true? It's complicated. Ancient writers like Plutarch described harsh inspections of infants, but modern historians still debate how accurately those accounts reflected everyday Spartan life. So what is certain? Spartan society admired physical strength above almost everything else. A child who could never fight, never carry a shield, never stand in the battle line, faced a far more uncertain future than one born healthy. But Sparta was only one city. Travel hundreds of miles south, and the story changes completely. In ancient Egypt, blindness was far from rare. The hot climate, frequent infections, and diseases like trachoma damaged the eyesight of countless people over their lifetimes. So did blindness mean a life without purpose there too? Surprisingly, no. Ancient Egyptian tombs contain images of blind musicians, especially harpists, playing at banquets for nobles. Scholars still debate whether every figure shown was truly blind or simply symbolic. But one fact remains remarkable. Someone believed their music deserved to be carved into stone forever. So why did one civilization fear blindness, while another immortalized it? Because ancient people weren't just trying to understand damaged eyes. They were trying to understand fate. Could losing your sight ever become an advantage? In ancient Greece, some believed it could. But could a legend change real life? Not always. Many blind children still depended on their families to survive. So where could a blind child belong? In some places, a child who learned by listening could still become valuable. Blindness didn't always close every door. Sometimes it opened another. So what became of that baby? 40 years later, people no longer looked at his eyes. They listened to his voice. He recited stories and prayers entirely from memory. His parents had once hoped his eyes would follow the light. They never did. But over the years, people stopped waiting for his eyes. Instead, they waited for his words.